Hey everybody, how you doing? Happy Sunday. It's good to see everyone. Looks like we got a few people here already. We'll give everyone a little bit more time to get here, get logged in. So how was everyone's week this week? Mine's been incredibly busy with all the fulfilling all the spirit companion orders. It has been pretty intense. Like some of we had some 18, 20 orders on certain days. So um, that was a lot. That's a lot of work, And then I got to make all the sigils, and just the process of letting people know that it's ready is when you have that many and you have to send all of those. It's time consuming, and I'm glad that we're kind of winding down. Today's the last big day. I've got probably 20 to do today that I'll do here after we finish up here today. And so yeah, that's been kind of my week. Is just fulfilling spirit companion orders. Yep. Well, that's cool. Someone said they were reading the book, and the live stream just popped up. So that's cool. Um, so let's get ready to do the prayer quest. Don't put them in yet, but let's get ready. And as always, we'll start every prayer request with the words prayer request. That way I know what to copy. And remember, because I don't read these, I'm just copying and pasting. So I won't copy and paste it if it doesn't say prayer request on it. And then remember, I'm only going to take them for so long. And if it comes in after I've stopped the copying and pasting, like I'm not going to stop in the middle of the prayers to copy and paste or to try to read your thing. So you've got to get it in during the time frame, and then try to write it simply so that it's easy for me to read, and only make one request. Only put a request in one time is what I mean. Like, it's fine if you do multiple requests in one little thing, but just don't then repost that same thing over and over again. Just do it once. And I guess there's always something like there's several little things we've tried to work out, but I can never remember all of them every time. Um, but anyway, yeah, and just try to and don't yeah, you don't need to worry about doing a request for something very generic that's already covered in the other prayers. Try to make it something that's specific to you and your needs. Like you need a promotion, or you need healing for this very specific thing. But don't just put like I need healing, because we already kind of cover healing, or I would like some more money. Everyone would like some more money, and we've got that covered. Try to be more specific if you have a specific need for the money or something. You've got a bill coming up, or you've got something that you just really want or something. Something of that nature. Not like just just the general requests, because again, those are already covered in the prayers. That's why those are already included. If we didn't have those, we could just do prayer requests. And I haven't asked for them yet. So I lost my train of thought. All right, go ahead and put the prayer request in, and we'll start getting those copied. be sure to put prayer request, not just request. I almost missed one. So I'm seriously, I don't look very hard. I'm just glancing and just copying and pasting. So while I am doing this, we can talk about something else. So there's a couple spots in the within the prayers where I say to stop and to feel your need, and then to transform that need into gratitude, and then when we do have a spot in the whole thing where we then stop, and I stop and give you time to do that for your own request that you maybe didn't get in here or something. But that isn't it is important to try to work that gratitude and that transformation into it whenever you can, because that is a very important part of the manifestation process, I guess you could say. It's kind of the underlying key that makes a lot of magic work, and that includes prayers. I did a post this week about gratitude and that process, and yeah, gratitude is so important. It is. I don't know. I'm not going to quite say it's the fuel, but it's definitely one of the things that powers the whole process. If you're really constantly like, oh, things never work out for me, and things are always bad, and you're always a pessimist about stuff, then that's what you get. And that was one of the harder things for me, is because I am kind of a skeptic, and I used to be a real kind of glasses half empty kind of person, or who took my glass, and that was that's something you gotta kind of get over and retrain yourself to be optimistic, but like realistically optimistic. You don't need to just be like pie in the sky either, but you need to at least have believe that, hey, things can get better, things can get better, and things will get better, and me doing this magic is going to make things better. And then like that, the key to lasting results is always gratitude. Whenever you find yourself lusting for results, just stop and say, I'm lusting for results. Like it's really helpful to always label something when you're thinking it, and then just stop and feel grateful for whatever it is you're asking for, as though you've already received it. And that's how you can cancel out the lusting for results effect. So I guess that's it for prayer requests. We'll go ahead and cut it off there. Thank everyone for participating. Oh, all right, let's get ready to get started. All All right, get situated, get centered, take a few deep breaths. Listen, all you who can hear me. The Father is mysterious, everlasting, and transcendent. The Mother is here and is all things, all that we can see and don't see. We are the holy children, and together we are who create reality and have the privilege to experience and explore creation. Let us join together now as one in prayer and create a new world. We pray in the name of the Father, the Mother, and the holy children. Let our hearts become a holy temple and our minds a holy throne. Enter, God all-powerful, and dwell in the temple of our spirit. Let our thoughts be as immaculate light, and our gratitude become an unconquerable power. Ge lava, ge adua ian, iada, a oxentaser, ad anonoromi, ge maman, noan, ne sia ian, ge manan, ne exia yal, zimi ia idan, ad feams, a sia ian, a gega, ge englad, noan opirt, a ge kren, no one ugeg mikals. I will now call on the Mother for the divine authority to call on the angels. Galva, show yourself. Sink into me. Bring down the flaming temple of your seething loins upon my mighty sword. Be thou my drunken harlot. I inhabit your throne in heaven in the joy of God. Thunder understanding underneath me. Groan the secrets of holy mysteries in my mouth, and bring forth the philosopher's stone, and become my handmaid. Galva Zamran Karboff Yol, Drixa Ialpur, Sia Ian, De Ge Ure, Dax Mire, Ol Mikalze Napta, Bob or Orspa, Babylon, Ol Zodirega, Ge Axia Yal Imadriax, Ol O Mozad, Avavago Miketh Raka Ol, Holdo Al Layad, Deni Kikle Siro Butman, Yokam Al Der, A Noan Al Kirst. She who is the end, Mother of all, pray for us. Open the eye of our heart so that we can see the secret truth of the heavens, so that we can see the face of the Most High, so that we can become the most powerful. I pray that all confusion of our own power be destroyed. Open our eyes to the truth. The spirit of man magnifies the Spirit of God and is the Holy Spirit. We are the Creator. We create creation. I am the Lord your God. I am what I am. Galva extentasser lava lapke. Urdo a uanoan a gemanans arge arget uron a laiad veowan de a madriax arge arget a aduian de ia ida arge arget no one a ia idan o lava tol unke de gi Mikal Zimram Kirasab Odo Ge Ua Uana Tua Veowan Aga de Cordzis Oviv Aga de Iad Ad Zira Kamomphai Ge Ziro Akaal Ge Kaas Kaan Ziriniad Gahoakma. A prayer to banish all curses and wicked spirits. United as one in prayer, we will now ask for the freedom to be freed from the oppression of all curses and harmful spirits. Take a moment and feel how much you hate being oppressed by a curse or harmful spirit. And as I perform the banishing, transform that feeling into gratitude, as though you have already been freed. I, Jareth Tempest, by my own name and by my own authority, banish all curses and evil spirits from all who hear my voice and desire liberation. Ol Arpan Tol Alma Tol Babylon God Tol Disopath. In the name of Yia Idan, the all-powerful and Zildar who stretches forth and conquers, I banish all curses and evil spirits from all who hear my voice and desire liberation. Ol Arpan Tol Alma Tol Babylon God Tol Disopath. In the name of Galva, Lady of the Apocalypse and Mother of all angels and abominations, I banish all curses and evil spirits from all who hear my voice and desire liberation. Ol Arpan Tol Ama Ad Tol Babylon Gal Tol Tisopath. I place all who are willing under my wing and my protection. I call upon the mercy of the kings of the four watchtowers. Bata Eva, king of the watchtower Exarp. Ra'agios, king of the watchtower Hakoma. Igzeheheka, king of the watchtower Nanta. And Edlaparna, king of the watchtower Bitom, to open their gates and send forth their legions, set up a hedge of protection around everyone who is listening to my voice and who desires to be protected. Build an impenetrable fortress around us. Keep us safe. Blans par de Sorpath. Yolkom givi patriarchs de Blonski. Now feel your gratitude for being delivered from your oppression and take a moment to know that you are safe and protected. The first key, filled with divine authority and now free from the influences of harmful spirits, I will recite the first key to unlock the heavens, so that we may summon the angels of the day to do our will. O samvors goho iad bal lengsh kal zomfro, sobra zaol, roa ita nas pad gra'a, ta malpig dishol, ka nathoa zims, ad kama ta nobla zion, soba thilganap, perge alde ad, zurebs obela, gersarm kasarm or horla, kaba pir ad, zonrezig, kab yadna, pila farms, Zerza adna dis gono, iadpil dis hom, ad tol soba ipam lui pamus, dis laholo vep zam peamol ad barpa ai, ta pia piamo, iad veowan zakare, kaad, zamran odo kikle ka azorge, labzira nok mad, hoath ia iada. An invocation for all the angels of Sunday. In the name of Ya Edon and Yabis, on this day of the sun, I, Jareth Tempest, conjure you, all the angels of Sunday, Lord Sol, the illuminator, king of all the stars, and begetter of vision, O Lord Sol, whose angels nurture and cause the herbs and the trees to bear fruit, who adorns the whole world with majesty, who banishes adversities in the darkness, Lord Sol, the embellishment of priceless things, the beauty and the majesty of pearls, gold, and all precious stones, the glory of kings and the thought of judges. I, Jareth Tempest, conjure you, all the angels of this day, servants of Lord Sol, who is inconceivable, incomprehensible, who sees the power of heaven and understands the splendors of Ida. I conjure you, all the angels of Sunday, luminous spirits of Lord Sol, the candle that burns before the dark and dreadful Zillodarp. I am Jareth Tempest, and you will not disobey me. For I know who I am. I am the child of wisdom and the lover of Galva the mother, the end of all things. I remember that I'm Gaho Akma. I am what I am. I am Yido Ego, he that sits on the holy throne. I am Ya Idan, the all-powerful. I conjure you by the mysterious and powerful name of the outer circumference, Horwin. By the seventh who governs the seven, head M. Hiai. By the archangel of the sphere, Raphael, by the archangel of creation, Mikael, by the unspeakable name of God, Oizir, by the daughter of light, Yana, by the son of light, Damal, by the daughter of the daughter, Izad, by the son of the sun, Liba, by the archangel of the sun, Sameliel, by the rulers of the heptarchy, King Kamar and Prince Baganol, I conjure you, King Bobogel, magnificent king of the sun, and Prince Bornogo, ruler of the hours of Venus, Governor Bonifon, ruler of the hours of Mars, Governor Bonafa, ruler of the hours of Jupiter, Governor Barigas, ruler of the hours of Mercury, Governor Buskanab, ruler of the hours of Saturn, and Governor Bablibo, ruler of the hours of Luna. In your above names and powers I conjure you, and all of your angelic ministers. Grant your grace, power, virtue, and wisdom in all that we now ask. I, Jareth Tempest, do summon you all now and charge you to obey and serve me, my wife, my loved ones, all my friends, students, clients, and all who hear these words, and everyone who calls on you in my name, and carry us all through a life in a state of playful wonder and well-being. Let love, health, abundance, prosperity, success, belonging, victory, freedom, and everlasting joy flow forever into our lives. Be with us and bring success in all the works we attempt this day, this week, and all the days of our lives. Turn back all foul fortune from us and bring us only good fortune. Guide us where we need to be. Teach us what we need to know. Show us what we need to see. I seal this command with the word of power, Agla. A prayer to end suffering. We cry aloud for all who weep. Those whose bodies are in torment, they are healed. Those whose thoughts are confounded, their minds find peace. Those whose lives are lamentation, they are comforted. The lonely find love and the defaced find beauty. Where there is war, we demand peace. Where there are empty mouths, we demand a rich harvest. Where there are poor, we demand gold. Where there is wrath and torment, we demand deliverance and justice for the wicked. Where the wicked reign, we demand righteousness. We do not humbly pray for this, we demand it. Not in time, but this day. We are the holy children. We are God, we are the mother, and we speak the speech of God. We open our mouths and create heaven out of torment. We invoke all the holy servants of God from all the heavens to create a kingdom of love, a kingdom of peace, a kingdom of joy. We demand the kingdom of heaven this day, so that all weeping is only a memory this night. Gi bahal no one tor dis raklir, soba kiniriman no one gemir, par no one kakam, soba angular no one unke, par mana no one in tharze, par soba apila, no one iofan, par no one blioria, saga mamans, raklir no one bliorga, tonuv, no one turbs, kuian, da trian sam van nas pod, gefifis and darze, kuian da trian, alpha butmana gefifis las azigiar, kuian plazi no one raklir, alpha limla gefifis adkal, kuian da trian, zamfo, ad mir, gefifis, zon rezig, ad baut no one a Babylon, kuian Babylon bakba gefifis balthto, ge ib zura lava no one oi, gefifis ib capimeo oi baskim, ge ad nen aromi, ge no one yad, we no one exentasa, ad ge kamlax, ad laugeth, ge odo butman, ad kaas madriax gat amir, ge argetko to nen okad, de iad ad tod madriax, de kaas lando de bliorga, lando de entharze, lando de maz, gefifis a lando de madriax, oi bustin, od raklir papnor, oi virk. A prayer for the dead. We now remember those who have come before us, and we pray for their souls, that they find their way to the place of peace and healing in the next world. Feel your desire for your ancestors to help the lost or unhealthy dead or anyone who has recently died. Then as we pray, turn it into gratitude, as though you've already received 1,000 blessings from your ancestors. We look back on our ancestral bloodlines and call to those ancient ones who shine with wisdom and love. We honor you, we praise you, and we pray you work in healing the dead in torment. We also pray you look for all in our bloodline and light their walk to your home. Shelter the dead in peace and heal their hearts. We praise you, O wise ancestors. We think of you and we sing your praises. We also humbly pray you shine your wisdom and light on all of our works. Get Dorfa, get Teloa, Kenila, Ad Ardget, Desorga Teloa, Dis Loholo Miketh, Ad Bliorga, Ge Ya Iadrix Nonke, Ge Oakrimi Nonke, Ad Lava Nonke Veol, Ge Kakam, Aga Gemir, Ge Lava Nonke Dorfa, Tod Guest Teloa, Kenila, Opirt Oi Insi de Salman, Lanza Teloa Ge Entharzi, Ad Page, Ad Kakam Oi Monams, Ge Oi Krimi Nonke, Ke Sorge Teloa, Ge Engelard Nonke, Ad Ge Oi Krimi, Ge Zura Lava Nonke Loholo Miketh, Ad Opirt Katol Ge Consibra. A prayer for reconciliation with the world. We pray for the soul of the world and for all of her daughters and sons. We repent of destroying her children and despoiling her treasure and making her diminish. Open our eyes so that we can see our spirit community. Open us to hear their weeping. Open our hearts so that we can all flourish together. We pray to hear their wisdom and to act on it. Ge lava age ka'a tol til pasabs ad nor. Ge mua. Ge pazar til nuromi ad irazid. Til limla ad ulan. Til pazar odo. Ge uanan. De uran kafafam. Eof zorge ga odo. Ge solpath oi vaklir. Odo ge manans. Oi ge tol kakam. Ge lava solpath oi miketh. Ad sorte. A prayer for health. In the name of He that lives in life supreme, I invoke the She who is the end. We sing praise to your glory. I pray to you for the health of all who listen to my voice and for all of their loved ones. Let your face be friendly and shine healing upon us. Repent our death. Hearken our groans and lamentations. I call on the holy servants of the sun to deliver us from torment. Let us flourish everlasting. Ga'aduayin de iapil ad yabas ol ad gedko galva. Ge oikrimi de gibustir. O lava de ge lap a kaniliman kakam. De tol de solpath de o bia ad moman fafin. Bo odoan zorge ad leholo ke ge mua ge telak. Toatar ge ugegi ad yafan. Ol arget ato nen kaad. De aurora zonrezeg. Gamir trian kakam go ahead. A prayer for pleasure and prosperity. By the name of the highest and the name of the all-powerful, I invoke the mother of all. We praise your mighty beauty and power. I call on all the holy servants of the sun that I and all who listen and pray are lifted upon the pillar of gladness and crown us a garland of gold. Girdle us in treasure and pour down glory and triumph upon us. Grant us a harvest of pleasure and joy. Ga'aduayin yada ad yadan. Ol argetko exentasser galava. Ge oikrimi nonke kanze turbs ad launch. Ol argedet. Ad tol de nokad de aurora na all. Ad tol de solpath de lava. Ziram farms mirk ad nazarth. De moman ge oblak de agal. Tra'al gal al limlal. Ad panpir bustier. Ad humta mirk ge. Deluga ge azigiar. Ge kirasahi ad mad. A prayer for love and belonging. I invoke the She who is the end, Mother of the world. I pray for all of you who can hear my voice, that you are loved and have someone to love. In her powerful name, I call on all the holy servants of the sun to cast out your loneliness and bind it for time everlasting. I pray that true love of your life manifests. I pray that no scorpion separates you. I pray that the two become one. I pray all of you find belonging among loving people. O argetko galva exentasser. O lava lapto ge de disolpath de o bia. Trion bliorga ad bin mola de bliorga. Ge tu mikalzo duayen. Ol arget atol ne nakaad. De aurora de arpan ge soga momans donse. Alar lap capimeo go ahead. Ad o lava ge veoan bliorga. Ka da. All lava gas theatris tilab nonke. All pe polopole. All lava lap to noa kafafa meaf zorge ol. A prayer for justice. Highest God, measureless light, creator of all things, life supreme, he that lives, the just one. Bring forth justice to the government. Cast down the harlots from their thrones and lift up the servant. Give everything to the righteous and cast down the powerful to hellfire. Crown a kingdom of justice. Ya'ida, me'alphas, opirt, ka'al, tafklo, yabis, yadpil, eoyad, oyad. Yokambat de Nata'ab, Adpan Babylon Par Axia Yal, Farms and Noko, Deluga, Tafklo, Dia Balit, Arpana Mikals, De Donas Dog Ar Mastasos, Moma Lunda Dia Balit. For SL to become a successful instructor, that all of their classes will be full of students. Iat Fifis Gigil. For R, for a strong memory, power, focus, clarity, health, and vitality, faster execution of ideas and increase of income, removal of spiritual blocks, increased business and magical strategy. Iat Fifis Gigil. For DN, that they receive a promotion and raise, that they are motivated to understand and memorize land law fast and to pass land law exam, and to find out if MN is cheating on them with AM. Iat Fifis Gigil. For R, the JC gets the promotion he applied for and the decision is quick. Iat Fifis Gigil. For JG, help them lay the best foundation for a life of long-term consistent and maximum personal success. Iat Fifis Gigil. For STD, that they lose weight and their mobility gets back to what it used to be. Iat Fifis Gigil. For SR, for their trip to Spain to be successful and amazing, with an easy flight, check-in, and safe travel, embassy passport renewal biometric process successful, and to receive a new passport soon. Iat Fifis Gigil. For RM, for healing for healthy eyes and great clear eyesight. Iat Fifis Gigil. For AS, to get multiple good offers for their house. Iat Fifis Gigil. For GJC, that they grow closer to the divine each and every hour. Iat Fifis Gigil. For DD, to move into a new flat ASAP that is perfect for them in every sense, great location and affordable. Iat Fifis Gigil. For M, that they get a new MacBook Air M2. Iat Fifis Gigil. For SKTV, for quick success and income for their church, for increased spiritual knowledge and communication, for fast career retrieval for their wife, rapid blessings in all things for them, and financially and spiritually. Iat Fifis Gigil. For MV, that their brother JV get the help they need. The CD pays them the $5,000 he owes them. Iat Fifis Gigil. For T, to achieve knowledge and conversation with their holy guardian angel. Iat Fifis Gigil. For QR, that the warranty of their husband's truck fully pays for the engine repair work. Iat Fifis Gigil. For MK, to fully heal and restore normal function of their lungs. Iat Fifis Gigil. For AW, for $3,000 by the end of the month. Iat Fifis Gigil. For FTA, to have their enemies known and unknown exiled from their life and ensure that they are disinterested in them. Iat Fifis Gigil. For SAM, for more awareness of their church, for increased subscribers for their channel and more traffic, for consistent monetary donations and memberships for their ministry. Iat Fifis Gigil. For LL, for £2,000 they needed in 10 days to pay 3 bills. Healing for excruciating knee pains. Iat Fifis Gigil. For L1, that they achieve their ideal weight and maintain their ideal weight. Iat Fifis Gigil. For WB, for their constant headache and stomach pain. Iat Fifis Gigil. For SG, that TAV find the support for the right people to achieve stability and professional growth in their work. Iat Fifis Gigil. For TTN, for influencing their boss's decision, which allows them to continue to work. Iat Fifis Gigil. For PMMP, more awareness of their website, increased consultations for their channel and more traffic, consistent sales and large purchase orders for a website and Etsy store. Yod Fifis Gagil. For CZ, to remove all the blocks that are keeping them from living their dream life. Yod Fifis Gagil. For LC to obtain money for a new, up-to-date laptop. Yod Fifis Gagil. For GK, to empower their psychic abilities to allow them to astral travel. Yod Fifis Gagil. For LS, to fully understand the depths of their ancestral power. Yod Fifis Gagil. For TZ, for T to have mental focus and energy with everything she does and to help in listening to her intuition and gratitude and to help with the manifesting her power and wealth. Yod Fifis Gagil. For TV, for their fear of driving and learning to drive diminish and that they're learning to drive with ease and confidence. That they feel brave and their anxiety becomes a thing of the past. Yod Fifis Gagil. For K, that their mental control lasts and evolves for their healing. Yod Fifis Gagil. For the victims of the hurricane, for all the people who are working to help, and for all the other people, the tragedies in the world. Yod Fifis Gagil. And finally, we pray for all the unspoken desires that we hold in our hearts. Feel the desire for what you want. Then state what you want, either out loud or in your mind. And then transform your desire into gratitude as though you've already received it. Lord, answer our prayers. Yod Fifis Gagil. We sing praises to your name. Ge oi krimi de ge dua ian. And now for the pathworking. Path 18. The second path of feeling. The path of sexual attraction. To become more sexually attractive. Close your eyes and imagine yourself walking out your door. Imagine you begin to walk west. It is raining. You come to a creek. You follow the creek. And as you follow the creek, it widens and grows until it empties into a lake. You find a boat and you take the boat out into the still water of the lake. Eventually, the lake empties into a river. You follow the river down, and as you go, more rivers join and the waters swell and flow. Finally, the river meets the sea. The great ocean spreads itself before you into infinity. The waves crash against a single solitary tower that rises from the waters into the sky. This is the angelic Watchtower of Water. It is tall and made of blue stone. Hold the image of the blue Watchtower of Water as I say. May we enter and safely pass through this blue Watchtower of Water. May we successfully traverse the second path of feeling, the path of sexual attraction. May we obtain success in this initiation so that we may become more sexually attractive. We approach closer to the watchtower and see the amethyst gate, its doors closed. Before the door is the angelic guardian Paco. He is a masculine angel with small wings. He wears a yellow robe. He holds an opal that bestows knowledge. Try and hold this image in your mind as I say. O Paco, I call to thee. Come and open for me the amethyst gate of the Watchtower of Water which you guard. I ask to gain entry by the threefold secret holy name, Meph, Arsel, Ga'ik. I open the gate with the key of water. Othul Lazdi, Babge, Ad, Dorfa, Goholo, Gekis, Gay, Eu, Go, Komp, Ped, Donsif, V, Vedi, Ve Kasaram, Oli, Map, Soba, Ad Kormpo, Kevrep, Iad Kasarmig, Kro Ad Zekis Ad Vereg, Dest, Ka Pi, Mali, Kis Ka Pi Ma'an, Yangshin, Kis Ta Lo Kla Torgo, Nur, Kirasahi Ad Keasoga, Bagle Ze Re Nei, Ad Disi Ad Apila, Do-O A'ib, Ka'a Al-Zakar Ad Zamran, O Belisong Rez, El Ayaf, Nor Molap, Paco walks up to you. A light shines about him. The light shines into you, penetrating you completely. As he embraces you, he says, I am the angel of water. I am the angel Paco. I am the guardian of the amethyst gate. Enter the Watchtower of Water. The amethyst gate opens. As you approach the gate, there is writing above it. As in the root there are many divisions, so in the stem and the branches are many separations. Walk through the gate into the Watchtower of Water. The floor and the walls are made of blue stone. You feel the power of the waters moving through the stones. Joy, fear, love, anger, calm, and hate move through the stones like waves, ever changing with the tides. You feel the flow of all feelings. Something inside of you wants to open and surrender them. To open up and to receive all of the rushing currents of the heart. I will repeat the threefold secret name for protection. Meth Arsod Ga'ik. Meth Arsod Ga'ik. Meth Arsod Ga'ik. We now come to a stairway leading up. Before it stands another angel. They are a graceful, beautiful, feminine, cherubic angel with small wings. She opens a deep violet robe. She holds an amethyst that bestows sexual love. You can feel powerful energy coming from her, penetrating you and filling you. She says, I am the cherubic angel of water. I am the cherub glemma. I am the guardian of the willow stairway. They embrace you, and again you feel their light shine through you. They say throughout eternity, I manifest myself from earth to water within water. Read the words written above the birch stairway, and rise up through the Watchtower of Water. You begin to climb the steps of the birch stairway, and as you read the words, are you not afraid of the unspeakable flames and firebrands of hell, which were prepared for the wicked? At the top of the stairs, you enter the floor of the water within water, and see a blue stone fountain. There is cool and damp like a cave. You see a second staircase. The words above the stairway say, the spirit that speaks to you is she that has a tower to build, a strong tower and a mighty tower. Yea, such a one has not been from the beginning. Great is the foundation thereof, for it is of iron. But greater are her walls, for they are of diamond. Most great are her turrets, for they are the 7 heads that behold, judge, and gather. And they are made of truth, the spirit of eternity. Under the laying of every stone are you made privy, and for this tower you are provided. We now climb the second stairway. At the top of the stairs is another angel. They are female and wear a crimson robe. You feel a power emanating from her that brings understanding of sorrow, suffering, and all manner of feeling. Unafraid, approach her. She embraces you. She is soft and beautiful. She says, I am Malady, they who shoot arrows. I am an angel of the cross of water. I bear the cross of water from water to air within water. The floor of air within water is cool and has a wet breeze. You see a third stairway, and above this one is written, lift up yourselves as the servants of God, and help to bring stones into the building of this great city, that you may be openers of the gates, and that the white horse may enter, and that he that enters may reward you with honor. Climb the third stairway. It is cool and dry and smells of myrrh. You now step into the tier of fire within water. You see 2 majestic nude angels, the king of the Watchtower of Water, Ra'agios, and the goddess of the Watchtower of Water, Ge'alrois. If you identify as male, stand before the king. If you identify as female, stand before the goddess. Listen to their description and try to visualize them both. Creative power flows out of them. Their nature is to make things. You sense that they like to place things into living bodies. Their presence fills you with a sense of life-giving creativity, to express infinite spiritual ideas through finite form. You feel they can bestow the gifts of healing and longevity. King Raagios wears a blue crown on his head and holds a golden cup in his left hand. The goddess Geavrois wears a violet tiara on her head covered in blue hair. She holds a blue chalice that is inscribed with the magical word Trom in yellow in her right hand and a mirror in her left hand. You will now embrace the king or goddess and feel yourself melt into them and transform into them. Again, if you are King Raagios, you are a beautiful man with a blue crown and a gold cup in your left hand. And if you're the goddess, you are beautiful with blue hair, a violet tiara, and hold a blue chalice that is inscribed with the magic word Trom in yellow in your right hand and a mirror in your left. Now continue to imagine that you are the king or goddess and turn towards your consort, who now faces you in the nude. Imagine you say, let the daughters of light take up their garments. Let them open the windows of their secret chambers. Show yourselves to be gods. Yea, perform that which you have already promised. Gather your vestures together, for those who are sick have need of help. You are the children of pity, and in the loins of compassion do you dwell. Come together up your garments, for the cankers are ripe, and the worm biting seeks to gnaw into the lily. Now smile at each other as though you are in love. Slowly move towards each other and embrace. As I say the word Hakoma, merge God King and Goddess of the Waters together, as you also try to hold the image of the bluestone watchtower around you. Hakoma, Hakoma, Hakoma. Continue to hold the image as I read. The works of the Spirit quicken. The doing of the flesh leads unto distraction. May I have understanding and cast away pride. My true understanding I learn, first to know myself, what I am, of whom I am, and of what end I am. This understanding causes no self-love, but a spiritual self-love. This understanding teaches no blasphemy. This understanding teaches no fury. May it teach me to be angry, but not wrathful. For if I may be angry and not offend, but wrath is to damnation. Is God a God of justice? May I therefore a just servant. No man inherits the kingdom of eternity without he conquer in this world. No man can challenge justly of reward without he be a conqueror or do the works of justice. Does the world not like me? It is for two causes, either for that I live well and not as a worldling, or else because my wickedness is such that the world wonders at it. If I am the first, I will rejoice, for blessed are those whom the world hates. When they laugh at my godliness, I will be sorry and grieve at their sinfulness. My garland is godliness, my breastplate is humility, and upon my back I wear patience. A light begins to build within you. It builds and builds, as do the feelings of power flowing through you. Suddenly, the light grows so bright that you are blinded. A moment passes and you are yourself again, standing in a boat outside the angelic Watchtower of Water. Let us turn now towards the land and sail back to ourselves. A prayer for union with the divine. While we thank Karanzam for the blessing and wonders of ourselves, may we see the truth. We pray for divine knowledge. Fill us with wisdom. Open our minds, hearts, and eyes so that we understand that we are not poor wretches, but we are the holy children of the Holy Mother. Help us to understand that we are one with the Mother, as she is one with the Father, and as they are one, so are we all one. Ge oikrimi koranzam lapa obele, a tiliop, arget ge uron, veawan, ge lava lap yadna, deluga ananael, oro ge manan monans, uanan, ar ge, ge yapama apakama, krip noan, ne korzius, de a ne oxentasa, deluga oman gen noan saga a oxentasa ka pi noan, a iad, nomig, palo saga noan saga. The closing prayer. We praise all of you, holy servants of God. We praise you, Mother of the world. We praise you, God the Most High. Let us, holy children, go forth in love and power to speak the speech of God into creation and create a kingdom of heaven. Ge oa krimi to ne no kaad dia iad. Ge oa krimi nonke accentasa. Ge oa krimi iad iada. Trion ge ni norome. Tustax ge bliorga ad vohim. De comriax ad laugeth. Ge de ka'a ad kaas lando de matriax. In the name of the Father, the Mother, and the Holy Children. Ga'a dua ian yada. A accentasa on anin arome. Paid. Okay, well, how's everyone doing? Did anyone? Why did I miss it out? I don't know what you mean. So does anyone have any questions or anything? I'll just go ahead and open it up. I'm sorry, Creo. I'm not sure what you're referring to. Oh, that's good. Yeah, someone saying that the visualization, they're able to do it better every week. Yeah, I mean, as we do this, just the practice alone, but also kind of the magic is going to help um, get that process going. I think that we're going to start like the path workings through the Watchtower of Earth were like a good start. I mean, that's your foundation, Earth. But as you go, water. Now we're starting to move, work with emotion and things of that, and it's. I think we're going to have a lot more interesting, um, not just results, but experiences. It should probably make things bubble up out of us and stuff a little bit more. We might have, start feeling things during the path working that we weren't expecting or afterward. And definitely, try to pay attention to your dreams the days that we do this, or the day, whatever day you're watching this, because they can definitely be influenced by this, especially if you're watching this closer to when you go to bed. Um, so someone has there. Okay, so the question is regarding the gateway experience topic from the innovative magic. Since you don't trust it due to the links of certain agencies, have you tried asking any of your guides about it? That's the kind of thing that uh, guides don't give clear answers on, but in my gut and my intuition, and that's the way that they speak to you, is a distrust, and I feel I just don't. And then of course the things like, so I'd asked Rhea the psychic about what her thoughts on it were. We were just chit chatting one after my session, and she's like, "Oh, well, let me look." And I was like, "Oh, I wouldn't expect it. I was just kind of seeing if she'd had any experiences with it or heard anything." And her like almost immediately, and she didn't really even know what it was. Um, just her first thing was like, "Oh no, this is bad. They're watching this." And then I have a friend who stayed with us for like a year, And she started, I think she'd been doing them before. She'd experimented with them before, but she really kind of got into it while she was staying with us. And she had great success, don't get me wrong. And she still uses them, but at the same time, she's like, and she's not astral projecting and like an out of body experience. Not everyone gets that from it. That's not necessarily, but it allows you to do the same thing in with your mind to a certain degree. There's different kinds of projection and stuff, and like, and I can do that with my mind. I can, but I can't. I'm not having the full out of body experience. I've never been able to claim I could do that. So we're both kind of doing the same thing, but she's using the gateway, and I'm just using what, you know, like my skills I've learned over the years. And she's like, you know, I always see obviously them, you know, the intelligence people that she's like, you know, I don't, she's, it's not saying that she's, oh, they're always around, but like she sees them from time to time or encounters them. And she's like, you never see them? I'm like, no, I don't ever see them. And I wonder if that's because she's using the gateway and I'm not, and that might be why. So someone's asking, what are we talking about? The gateway experience is something that's put on by the Monroe Institute that the CIA used to train the psychic spies, like in the 50s, 60s, 70s, and it uses basically isometric tones or um, brainwave entrainment, which they refer to as hemisync, to create altered states of consciousness that allow you, and they work you through the process of having a full out of body experience. And it is also through the program that they use to, they basically discovered how the universe works, that it's a hologram, how manifestation works, just everything that we do in magic, they figured out how to do it through science. And all of this was done by a guy named Monroe, and he started the Monroe Institute, which is still a functioning organization. As far as I know, they're not actually connected to the CIA, but they've had a long-term relationship. Um, so that's what it is, and like a lot of people, um, it got very popular. I think the reason the guy on YouTube that does the Y Files made an episode about it where he spoke very highly of it, and it's exploded in popularity. It's really popular on TikTok. It's popular on YouTube. A bunch of people are doing it and having good results. And again, I don't want to say that you don't have good results, because you do, but there are some things that make me question what exactly they're doing, because if you read the patent, it says that they have taken a map of brain of someone's brainwave, and they're trying to match your brainwave to this other person's brainwave. But they don't say whose brainwave that is, and that is question that throws up some red flags for me. And then the other one is just like, again, my friend who sees um, the intelligence agency people floating around out there, and then of course what Araya said, you know, her first instinct was that it's bad, and then my own intuition. It's like it works. I'm not trying to say it doesn't work, but that it's watched, and that it's a good way for the CIA to keep tabs on anyone who's doing this stuff. That's my instinct, and that's why I don't use it. Well, okay, so I said I'd make my own. I have no idea how to start. I'm not an audio engineer, so I don't really know what I mean by that. I that's just kind of my attitude towards anything. If I find something that I'm like, oh, that's cool, but I don't like what they're doing here, I'll have to figure something out for my own. That please don't sit and wait for me to try to make something, because I don't know even how to start doing that. And so that'll take the research, and then figuring it out, because there's more to it than just using some, it's not just using binaural beats to create the hemisync. It's like there's more going on there, and like what can I jailbreak, and what do I what don't I want to take from it? And so I don't know. We'll have to see. But yeah, I don't take me as like, oh, I'm going to go make this thing and it'll be in the store in 2 weeks. I really don't think that. So someone says, so these people can track us if we use the gateway tapes. I don't know. I don't have firm answers on this. This is just theory. Um, but I mean, you're playing with something that was made for the CIA for to train their people. Now that means a couple of things. It means it's probably pretty effective because they're not going to use it if it isn't. And two, they probably got their little fingerprints all over it. And I don't know, man. There's some weird stuff. Like, so like take the government, like in general, like if you ever work with it, it seems like it's pretty dysfunctional. Like cops barely ever solve any cases. They hardly ever function to do anything more than protect property. Um, the Secret Service, you know, is obviously not great. They've allowed people get really close to our candidates that shouldn't, to the point of even taking shots. Um, it doesn't seem to function very well, is what I mean. Um, and then but it sounds like whenever there's this weird, like, I don't know, like this, like if there's like the high strangeness version of the government that also is out there that seems to be really effective. And there's this guy, there's just been several, like if you ever hear anyone like in the UFO community, when they start talking about how the government might mess with them, it's like on a different level, and it's weird, and it doesn't seem like the real government. It seems more like this pseudo um, high strange version of it. I don't get it. I don't understand how it works, and or even what it is. I try not to be super conspiratorial because again, like I don't even know if this is a real thing. It just there's this I don't know. It's like this spiritual control system that maybe the government has in place that kind of kicks into effect at certain points. Um, and it seems to be really effective. And I don't want to trigger that. I've kind of triggered it a couple times. And I was doing some work on the election last time, and my wife got arrested for, I mean, some not related, but just the timing was really weird. So stuff like that, like I don't need that backlash in my life. Um, I don't like the idea of having either the real government or the magical government or egregore of the government. I don't know. I don't want them messing with my stuff. And my stuff, I mean my life. Not would a Reiki attunement activation and one of my spirit attunement activations interfere with each other if done on the same day? I wouldn't probably do them on the same day. It's probably not going to be a problem, but it really depends on. I mean, it's not going to interfere with each other. It's really what's going to do to you. Um, but I don't think that. Just give yourself the time and the space. Like you want to really When you get the Reiki, like really, you just want to like get the Reiki and feel the Reiki and work with the Reiki. Don't try to rush into something else right afterwards. Like just give yourself this space to experience the one before rushing into the other. And then you want to be able to give yourself that time as well. And I'm sorry, we've already finished the prayer request. That the prayer service is kind of over. We're just kind of after doing after effect, just kind of talking about random stuff. So someone's asking about on my podcast. They said I talked about working with the Fae. Can I elaborate on the ritual or success? And I don't remember exactly what I said on the podcast, but I very rarely do work with the Fae because the Fae are weird, and it takes a little bit different. I'm not saying that they're bad. I'm just saying that they're weird. They're different, and it takes a different level of study. And I haven't done that, so I don't really work with them. But basically, you want to be really polite. You can leave offerings like cream, but you don't want to like nothing processed. You don't want to give the fae anything processed. You want something pure. Um, and Try to just work. Make deals like they're a little bit more like how you think magic should kind of work, where if you want something, you give something and stuff like that. Like you don't want like with angels and demons, you can be much more like I'm in charge. We're doing this and that. You're just going to piss a fairy off with that. There's certain other like dragons. You can't really order dragons around. Can't order deities around. I mean, most stuff you can't, but like angels and demons are a little bit more work. They work with us that way. If one does not feel the attunements after a third time, should you start over again? No. Not everyone feels everything. Like not everyone has that clairsentience where they feel it, or not to the level of um, being able to feel the energies of the attunement. You need to meditate with it and try to figure out what sense. I mean, if you know, then that would help. If you already know what sense you have, what clair sense you have, then work with that. Um, but meditate with it and see what sense starts popping. Like, do you hear things? Do you smell things? Do you see things? Like, it's gonna start communicating to you in some way. Pay attention if any just thoughts pop into your head, or if you hear music or something, just pay attention. But don't just think that you did it wrong and keep trying to do that. Take the next step and work with it and spend time with it and let it speak to you, and don't just try to force it. And that's the other thing. Like so many people in the occult want to just force things, like using like their willpower. I'm a will worker. I can make things happen with my mind. It's like there's a like working with the Watchtower of Water should teach you about receiving. It's the you're the cup, and this is the chalice you're receiving. This is and it can be difficult for straight men because they don't receive in the sex act very much. And there's the surrendering to your lover and giving yourself to them, and allowing them to take charge. And that's kind of what being psychic is. It's a letting go of, and can't force yourself to be psychic. You surrender to it and let it come into you. So that would be my advice. If you're not getting anything with an attunement, try to just open yourself and be receptive and pay attention to every little thing and just find how it's communicating with you. And if nothing else, just use your imagination. You don't have to feel it even. It just imagine the energies moving around like a cloud in front of you, and you send it off to do things. Like, just to, that's just as effective, because it's all in your intentions. And if you intend for something to happen, it's going to happen. It doesn't matter if you feel it necessarily. Anything else? No more questions? Oh, man, you guys are going to make me quit and have to go to work. Yeah, because I still need to do all the spirit companions for the day. Like I said, there's like 20 of them. Of course. So, do you ever try to attempt divination with pathworking? Of course you do. Go to the spirit and say, "Hey, what do you think's going to happen?" Or what's your opinion on something? Okay, so that's weird. Um, yeah, I don't know why you'd be falling asleep, but maybe it's just wanting to work with your unconscious. I don't know. Why are you out there making weird noises? My dog. Um, but yeah, like the pathworking and the divination. It's just, that's one of the keys. Like, that's one of the cool things with pathworking, is that you get to talk to the spirit, and there's nothing that says you can't ask it about the future. So I mean, technically, that just doing that is divination. Anything else? Yeah, I don't lay down when I path work. I mean, usually doing something. I don't. Yeah, I don't ever lay down when I do path working. That's weird. I don't, because I'm usually. I mean, yeah. It's usually whenever I'm doing something, I'm like, oh, I need some help with this. Then I'll get the path working out, or if I don't have it memorized, I'll just do it where I am. I don't do anything special for path working. I mean, that's fine if you do. I just know that, to me, I mean, it's just too cool. I don't do a full meditation usually. I mean, sometimes I do. Depends on what I'm doing and what I need and what the need is. But I don't laying down, not unless I'm like already laying down to go to sleep or something. But no, it's not anything I do anything special for. I heard that if you work with the angels, you will continue to have that issue, so that you need to work with them. Is that true? What issue is it? Are you saying that the angels just don't fix your problem, so you have to keep coming back to them? Because if that is the case, then that's no, because they solve all kinds of problems. Um, yeah, I don't really know what you mean there. That, yeah, no one would work with angels if that was real. Because I mean, why would you work with angels if they're not going to solve your problem? You must have to build your psychic ability to communicate with your spirit companion. Well, yeah, and I mean, I put all of that in the manual too. Like, the most effective method I have for building that is in the manual. And the manual, I've uploaded the manual to the group, so you can download it and work with it. You don't have to, it's not only for spirit companions. You can use that for. It's got instructions for building up your psychic abilities to communicate with spirits, and it's got a section on spiritual alchemy that you can use for anything. I mean, you could technically use all of the different techniques for anything other than a spirit companion. Like, evocation is evocation. Doesn't matter what spirit is. Novenas or prayers, like that. All it's just the same for everyone. So it's a pretty. There's a lot of information packed in that. So I would definitely read that. But basically, what you're doing is you're imagining yourself somewhere. And the thing, I use a field with grass and there's trees and a river or a little creek, and just take the time, because everyone has one key sense that you've got kind of trained up. It's your natural, not trained up necessarily, but it's your natural psychic ability. It's the one that you're best at, and it's kind of your key sense. And if you work in your imagination, because that's where this is all happening, in your imagination, you imagine you're in this field, and then you just kind of work through your senses. You look at everything. You see how real you can make it look, and if it doesn't come very real, then you see what you can hear. Are you hearing the birds? Do you hear the animal or the insects chirping and stuff? How real is that? And if that doesn't work, then you start touching things, and like, can you feel the bark of the tree? If you take a leaf and you feel that crumble, do you feel it? How real is that? And at some point, you're going to find one that's more real than the rest. And then as you work with that, it should start making everything else feel a little bit more real. It's never going to be, well, I mean, technically it can get as real as real as a dream can be real, because it's your mind doing it. But it may never reach that level. It may constantly kind of stay in this like hazy space, but that's fine. And then you just have to learn to trust what you're getting from it. And the more you work with it, the more things will just kind of come to life. You'll be in the thing and you'll just see a grasshopper suddenly fly by or something that you didn't consciously think, I'm going to make a grasshopper fly by. But these things will happen. And you'll put your spirit there and you'll imagine them being there. And at first they're going to do what you tell it to do as you tell it to do it. But very quickly, you'll notice it doing things that you didn't tell it to do, and it'll have a life of its own. And it'll start to talk, and you can start hearing, and we'll say things that, and there's going to be this constant question: did that come from me or did that come from it? And that's not going to go away. You're just going to have to learn to trust it, and that's the process. And you just keep doing that over and over, and eventually you'll have a better psychic abilities that will like. And you can do this with any spirit. It's not just your spirit companion. You can work with Raziel this way, or anything through the pathworking. You know the pathworking, and imagine that setting, and then work with the spirit in that setting, and try to make things as real and using all of your senses. And that's how you do that. I don't know who Liam Christopher is, so I can't say. I can't comment. I'm just saying, as far as like working with, if you went to an angel to work with something and it didn't fix the problem, and it never fixed the problem, then no one would ever go to angels for any help. That would be people are like, well, that's just useless, so don't do that, and then people would quit doing that. And again, I don't know who he is. I don't know what he has to say about Kabbalah or Enochian. I don't know. And as far as why people move from Kabbalah to Enochian, I think that the biggest reason is because the Golden Dawn is structured where it teaches you Kabbalah, and then at the end it teaches you Enochian. So a lot of people are like, that must be the next step. And it's not necessarily the next step. It's a different step. And I think that that's the problem with the Golden Dawn's version of Enochian, is that they try to work Kabbalah into it. And they forced Kabbalah into it. And D knew a little bit of Kabbalah, but like, the Sephiroth the dude that first was writing about the Sephiroth, that he was a contemporary of D's. I think he was living in Egypt, and that knowledge had not gone. So there's no Sephiroth in Enochian. There's no Tree of Life because that was not a concept yet. But people try to shove the Tree of Life into Enochian and stuff, and it's just, it doesn't really fit. What's the relationship between spirit companions and your HGA? Well, your HGA, okay, your spirit companion comes from other spirits, and they give it to you, and it's like a spirit friend. Your HGA is a spirit that was created with you, for you, and is your connection to the divine. It is basically an angelic being that is connected to you, that stays with you through all of your incarnations, and is the voice of, for lack of a better word, is the voice of God in your consciousness. So very different, very fundamentally different entities. Is that, I don't, that's not really a question, Vanilla. Like, yeah, Raziel is a game changer for me, but like, are you asking how? It's because it opened up all the rest of stuff. Everything else I've done almost has come from that first, getting that path working from Raziel, which opened up all the other path working books, which opened up everything else that I've done since then. So, yep, that was a game changer. But, you know, and the other thing, like, I'm gonna go back to personally, why I went from. First off, I was never in Kabbalah. That's a different thing. Like, I didn't move from Kabbalah to Enochian necessarily. Like, Western esoterica is just like, there's so much Kabbalah in it, you can't not work with it. But it wasn't like something I was really into. Like, I don't like the Tree of Life. I don't believe in a, what do they call it? It's like a emanation system where it's like stair steps from divinity to us. I don't understand the need for that. Like, that's never made sense to me. Why you feel like there's these different levels that you're going up, like an initiation system. That doesn't register to me. The other issue is that, and this is something most people don't talk about, I don't know why, but we have a thimbleful of Kabbalah translated into English that we have access to. There's tons of stuff that you need to know Hebrew to read because it's never been translated. And to get it, very often you need to be Jewish, and you need to go and learn. Or it's not exactly closed in the sense we tend to think of closed, but it's still most of what we think of as Kabbalah with a K is actually Kabbalah with a Q, which comes from Kabbalah with a C, which is the Christian version, because the Christians were in the Renaissance were working with the Jewish Kabbalists, and they were coming up with this stuff kind of together, and it was the Christians who were financing everything, making sure the books got published and stuff. But that relationship didn't last for very long, and so at a certain point, things went back to, because Christians were in Europe were very anti-Semitic at the time, and they would kick the Jews out of different places. And so you had like when Ferdinand and Isabella reconquered Spain, and they kicked the Jews out, and they started the Inquisition to get rid of the Jews and the Muslims. So we lost that. We lost these connections with people. And so we don't have as much Kabbalah as people tend to think we do. And I'm not Jewish, and it feels weird. Nothing against Jewish, being Jewish or Jewish people, but I'm not Jewish, and I don't have that connection to their tradition. And I'm not going to become Jewish to understand more of the tradition. And also, the other thing is like the bottom line of what people do is like, if you're really into Kabbalah, the answer to all the problems in Kabbalah is, well, just follow the law. And I don't want to follow the law. I don't feel like I was ever under the law, so why should I? Hey, Delilah, it's good to see you. But I don't know why I would. I don't want to put myself under the law. And people are like, oh, we don't have to be under the law. This is magic. That's not Kabbalah with a K. Then that's Kabbalah with the Q. And so it's not real Kabbalah anymore. It's already being twisted and turned and tried to mesh with Hermeticism and stuff. So I don't want to do that. I'm not going to do that to Kabbalah. Enochian, it comes from the British Empire, and it's all there. So I am of Anglo-Saxon descent for the most part, that and Native American. So I'm going to I don't have any problem using something from, the British Empire. I mean, John Dee coined the term British Empire, so it is very much the imperial magic system. And so I will take that and run with it and not look back, because it works for me and it works good. And that's the thing. That's really the bottom line of all of this, though, is like what works for you and what's good for you. Don't feel like because someone else is doing something that you need to do it. If being a kitchen witch works for you and making sour jars and honey jars, and that's what works for you, then by God, that's what you should do. Make that work. It's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing wrong with any of it. And don't chase the next shiny thing around the corner, trying to always one up yourself. Like, find what works for you and just dig into it and go as deep as you can with it. Would I consider creating a path working for my attunements? I mean, for those that I haven't already. I mean, yes and no. I don't have time to do everything. We talked about this last week. It's like the whole point of I release 2 attunements a week, and I don't give very much information about the spirit that's involved in it, because that would add more time. And if I add more time and doing more stuff, you're not going to get 2 attunements every week. So it becomes an issue of, do you want me to work fast or do you want me to work thorough? And I'm of the opinion that if you're getting an attunement with a spirit, you probably already are working with that spirit, and I don't need to tell you anything about that spirit. I know that that's not always the case, but that's kind of where I come at it from. Well, I give good quality, but I definitely go for quantity, because it's what the people want. And again, with the whole, the more information, again, I feel like you should already be working with the spirit to some degree. Like, I don't understand why you would get an attunement with a spirit you've never worked with. That's bizarre to me. You don't know. You're going to want to, I mean, to me, I would want to test the relationship out with before I got that kind of connection. I mean, not that it's dangerous. It's just, I don't know. It just seems weird. But anyway, and the thing is, the pathworking is unique, but almost everything else it's out there. It's findable. You can find the correspondences for a spirit. You can find the sigils of a spirit. All of that. You can just Google that. Well, an attunement has every power whether I list it or not is a different story. But I mean, every attunement has every power that the spirit possesses. I give 3 as an example, and then because I can't list everything. It'd be impossible. No one even knows what all of the powers are. but I'm not going to track down every book that has powers about it and try to find them all either. So I give 3 as an example to help get you started and illustrate how to use the attunement to get those 3. But if there's like a book in my pathworking book that has a power that's not listed in the attunement, you can still use the attunement to get that power. The attunement it's the same spirit. It's got all of it. And this is something else that confuses people. People think that like certain powers are only attainable through certain rituals or something. It's like, no, that spirit has that power. So it doesn't matter how you work with the spirit, you can still get that power. That you can still do that, whether you do it through evocation of this book or use the invocation in this book or use the attunement or use the pathworking. That power is there across the board, whether the author included it or not. Does that make sense? Or if you're saying that you don't have the attunement, but you want a pathworking for it, I mean, I've tried to come up with ways to do pathworkings, in a bigger bulk setting, whatever. I don't know. It just never worked out. All right, it is after 3:30, so I do need to go now. I appreciate everyone for being here and for participating. It's been awesome. Let's do the final blessing. He that is the first sustain us, and she that is the end beautify us. Angels of the Lord, guard us from all torment. Comfort us in all discord, and light our way to supreme life. God of righteousness, pour down love, pleasure, healing, glory, gold, peace, and the secret joy of God. Mother of wisdom, pour down divine knowledge upon us. He that sits on the holy throne, crown us and throne us in power. Move us to be mighty and rejoice in the power of creation. In the name of the Father, the Mother, and the holy children. El Gahal, Ge, Galva, Urbs Ge, Ne Ka'ad, Dea Yad, Rangs Getol Mir, Liorex Giatol Os, Ad Opirt, Ge Insidiabis, Beovid, Panpir Bliorga Kirasahi, Kaniliman, Kapkam, Bustier, Adkal, Intharzi, Ada Yayada, Mozad, Ananaya, Panpir, Yagnamad, Mirge, Ido Ego, Momar, Ad, Velur, As Kapax, Gay Amikels, Zakam, sorry, Zakam Gay, Amikels, Ad Kirlan, Gay Mikels, De Kaas, Ga'a Dua Ian, Yaida, Arxentasser, Anenaromi, Payid. All right. I will see you all this time next week, and have a blessed week. And yeah, bye-bye. See you, Delilah.